Hey, 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 it's your girl Success. Yep. And today I want to ask this question. Have you ever been accused of being hypercritical? Hypercritical. Not hypocritical, but hypercritical. So someone asked me my thoughts on hypercritical and wanted my feedback on it. So that is what this video is about today. So let's talk about it. So, what does it mean to be hypercritical? I can give you the dictionary version, but I'll give you the version that we talked about. It's when you're nitpicking and pointing out the flaws of someone else based on your standards. So, in other words, you have your set standards, and whomever this person is that you're analyzing or being hypercritical about, they're basically not living up to your standards. I can relate to that. I've never considered myself hypercritical. I've considered myself to be critical, yes. But I think when you throw the hyper on there, it's more so that you're involved in it on a regular basis, right? So I wouldn't say that I was hypercritical, but I have been critical and I can still be critical at times. But here is the thing. So I immediately went to God because, again, I'm no expert. He is. I'm no expert, but I do have experience in the things that I'm going to talk about on my channel. Otherwise, I'm not going to talk about it. So not an expert, but I do have experience. So in this topic today, I can talk about it because, like I said, I have been a critical person and I can still be at times a critical person. But what the Lord has been showing me within the past months, I would want to say like maybe even in the beginning of the year, late last year, is that He's letting me know that I have no reason to criticize anybody because I have my own issues going on, yo. So I've been asking Him to show me my flaws, show me myself, show me what I need to work on so that I can do that. And so in Him doing that, He has been giving me clarification and He's been stopping me in my tracks if I want to talk about something someone is doing or David might be doing, and I want to point a finger. And so what He's letting me know, and I'm stopping short now, and the Holy Spirit is checking me and be like, wait a minute, do I do that? Have I done that? And so the more He shows me, and the more He's showing me how I have no business pointing a finger at anyone, the more I'm learning to be less critical. And one of the things in pointing a finger at someone and being critical of someone is basically we're judging that person. And another reason why He's bringing to my attention and I'm able to do something about it is because I have no right to judge anyone. The Bible tells us before we, try to take a stick out of how does it go? Before you take a stick out of somebody, I wish I could remember the verse. Hold on. Yeah, it's about basically before you can want to take a stick out of somebody else's eye, you have to take the plank out of your own eye. Something like that. I can't remember exactly, but y'all get the gist of it, right? So anywho, when I went to Him this morning, because I know this is a conversation I'm supposed to have later today, I'm like, okay, God, what does it mean? The person wanted me to point out times and examples of when they've been hypercritical, but I really can't think of anything. So I'm like, okay, Lord, I can't think of anything. So I need your direction here. And so what He was letting me know is instead of trying to find a situation or an example of someone or this person being hypercritical, or even an example for my own self, He was like, what is the root cause? That's what we really should be looking at. The reason someone is hypercritical and or is critical is because they have something internal that they need to deal with. That's what He was showing me. He's like, the person is hypercritical and is judgmental because of something that is lacking within them. And so when I take that and I look at my own self I'm able to relate to what the Holy Spirit is letting me know. So, for example, you'll have, let me keep it on myself. For example, I might be critical of someone who dresses a certain way. And in my mind, I'm critical of it because maybe that person is supposed to be the example for others. Let's put it that way. Right? And why then am I going to be critical of that person? And is it because I wish I could dress like that? Is it because I wish I looked as good as that person does in what they have on? What is the root of me being critical of that person? And so in that scenario, in me being critical of someone dressing a certain way, for me, when I look at my root cause, I will say that I have had some self-esteem issues, clearly, right? And so he was letting me know that the root cause when there is someone who is hypercritical and critical is because there is something in them. It could be fear. It could be rejection. It could be low self-esteem. It could be various reasons. But the thing is, you have to find the root of why you are hypercritical. And so in thinking of the person who asked me to even have a conversation about this and thinking about what I know about that person, I'm going to say that that person has a self-esteem issue. And, we have self-esteem issues. And like I said, I had one too. So I would say that we have self-esteem issues for various reasons. It could be because of what we think and what we believe, what our perspective is regarding whatever it is that person's doing, however it is that person looks, whatever it is that person's wearing. We have, again, some kind of standard moral values, perspective, opinion, understanding of how things should be. And if that person is not matching up to those expectations, etc., then we're criticizing. We're critical of that person. But here's the thing. Where do we get our morals from? Where do we get our values from? Where do we get our perspectives and opinions from in order for us to now hold on to those and then judge other people according to them? Where are we getting it from? And I think we need to look at that. Who is speaking into our lives? Where did it come from? Where did our value system come from? Where did our expectations of what it should be come from? And when we do that, then we start to, dig up and get deep into some stuff, right? So for me, and what the Lord has been showing me these past few months is what I've been saying is that I'm doing the self-reflection. I'm doing the work because I want to be a better person. I'm not saying that other people aren't doing it because they don't want to be a better person. I'm speaking about myself. Okay. So I'm doing the work because I want to be a better person. I want to be the person that God has called me to be. That's it. And in order for that to happen, I go to him and I tell him he has access to all the areas of my life that I don't even know have issues in. And I ask him to search me and to bring to light the things that I need to change, the things that I can change, as opposed to the things that only he can change. And so this critical part I'm doing less and less of. And I'm really, really thankful for that because it's a lot more freeing. You're able to let things go. You're not so tense when things don't go your way. You're not so frustrated when things don't go your way, when people don't live up to your standards, when, people might come at you sideways, whatever the case may be. You are in a much more peaceful place because it's not your place in the first place to, be pointing fingers at anyone. And so when we build those standards, and we have those limits and boundaries and, perspectives that we have the expectation that people are going to follow, then, man, it's such work. And, as far as I'm concerned, I have too much going on to be adding more work to my plate. At this place in my life, I'm so tired of the fighting, the constant conflict, and I just don't have time for it anymore. Matter of fact, I don't have any room for it in my life anymore. Right? That's the place where I'm at. I don't have room for it anymore. So I had to go to God in order for me to be in a better place, right? So what the takeaway from this is, in regards to being hypercritical and critical when it comes to other people, is that we need to check our values, our morals, our standards. We need to check those, right? You need to check where those values, standards, morals came from. The source from where they came from. Was the source something worth believing? Or, was the source credible? Did that source also have their own perspective, or were they coming from their own opinions? And now you have now taken on their perspective and their opinion and made it your own. So for me, I had my own standards. I had, my own perspectives, absolutely, on how I want things and what I thought things should be, etc. And when I analyzed all of that and I checked the source, if it was credible or not, then I determined whether or not I was going to continue in it or let it go. But for the most part, what I'm learning to do and have been doing is I just go to God concerning what it is I'm feeling and concerning what his expectations are, so that now I can make his expectations and his standards and his morals and his values and his statutes, all of that. I'm able to make that now my own. And now that's where my perspective is coming from. That's where my opinion is coming from. That's where, all of that is coming from. And if I haven't gotten it from him yet, I'm learning when people ask me a question, I'm like, you know what? I really don't have that clarification yet. It's not something that I've sought the Lord on. And I'm okay with that, because I'm not a know-it-all, even though some people might think so. They will remain nameless. I'm not a know-it-all. I don't know everything. I don't know everything in the Bible. I don't try to portray myself that way. I will just go seek the Lord on it. And if he hasn't given me a revelation on it, then I'm not going to speak on it. And so, so hopefully this was helpful. I'm glad that the person asked me about it, because now I was able to go check with the Lord on it. And now I got a better understanding of it. And now I'm just like, I can apply that more in my life, in dealing with people as well, in that I'm able to look beyond what is being presented. I'm able to look at the background as opposed to the symptoms of what the person is showing. There's always something behind that we should evaluate or consider, because we don't know where people are coming from. So that is the talk today, you guys. Again, remember, I'm not an expert. I just have experience in what I'm talking about. All right. Some people are experts out there, but again, this is my channel. And so that's where this is coming from. So feel free to make your comments, your opinions, your perspectives, knock yourselves out. Until next time.